a space where people can do the work and find whatever group that relates to them, whether you are recovering from a horrible accident and you're navigating short-term disability or long-term disability, or if you did go through a heartbreak, or if you're a new mom, or
it is time for a new mental health champion to come our way, and we are going Bay to Bay, Tampa Bay out to California. Thank you so much, Tamar, for joining us here on A Mental Health Break.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the listeners. I'm happy to be here.
Well, I'm excited to dive into your journey. Everyone, of course, she's going to share her courageous mental health journey, but she actually moved out to California to build a mental health platform that might be perfect for you. My name is Vincent A. Lancey, and I want to welcome you back to A Mental Health Break. Thank you for helping us keep this show a top 5% global show. Together, we are normalizing conversations one at a time, and we're bringing on the founder and CEO of MentalHappy. So I can't wait to dive into that. But first, to get to know our audience a bit, please share your mental health journey from wherever you feel comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. So just with the work that we do at MentalHappy, it's a platform that helps people create support group spaces for their community, their clients, or even their patients. But on the flip side of that, it's a community where people can find support groups. Support groups are an emotional and educational based group where like-minded people come together and they focus on a specific topic that everyone is healing through. And what's unique about MentalHappy is that those support group spaces are all expert led. So there's someone in the group that has the background through like maybe clinical knowledge, book knowledge, or even a survivor experience. Perhaps they have just a lot of years of doing work in that space to really lead you and other members in that support group. My passion for support groups really began in high school. I started my very first support group there. It was an organization that helped underclassmen that maybe felt bullied or isolated or just didn't feel like they fit in to have an emotional, safe space. I've definitely had my experiences in my 20s with panic attacks and really just working through that and understanding that, yes, it is part psychological. Yes, it is part anxiety. But as I got older, realizing that it's also related to like diet and exercise and those type of things, stress levels. So I've definitely really appreciative of the work that I'm doing because so much of it relates to just things that I love and I'm passionate about. And then also just really helping to reduce the stigma of like mental health. And it means that you're mentally ill, that's not the case. Many people throughout whatever happens to us, whether it's an injury or an illness or a particular life event, will experience some type of up and down in our wholeness in mental health.
Well, thank you for all you do for the field, and thank you for having the courage to share your story in the show notes. I had for that pass by. I mean, starting your first support group in high school, someone having the courage to go ahead and make that happen. But if you can go back to your younger self, or maybe someone else in high school having these panic attacks, what advice?
Yeah, for me, I definitely went to a doctor. I think you should definitely go and talk to someone. And for me, the unlock in that journey was really like, how much water am I drinking in a day? How much time am I spending online or, sitting at a desk working? How much time am I spending outdoors? So you can also just be stressed and triggered by a lot of things, but there could be a lot of other really good for you things that you're maybe not doing. Sugary beverages, sodas, and stuff like that. Really just kind of, I would say to my younger self, like maybe don't drink Diet Coke so much because it adds to the panicness. So diet, would say nutrition more clearly played a big part in that.
I certainly can relate with that. And I am someone who grew up in the 90s, right? I like my Happy Meals as a kid and my Big Macs. After I have that Big Mac at the time, I'm like, my cheat meal, cool, we're doing it. then I don't really feel that good, not just down here, but mentally, I don't have much
Yeah.
motivation. I'm not thinking clearly. So thank you for bringing that up. What are some other things you do tomorrow to take care of your mental health? I always advocate for exercise and sunlight. What are some things you like to do for yourself?
Sunlight is a big one for me. Definitely getting outdoors, going on long walks. I call them urban city walks, but I'm able to get to nature pretty easily. There's a lot of parks where I live, so I really like going outside and feeling the wind, the air, even if it's a little cold, right? It's still a different environment, and at least trying to walk for 30 minutes is a big one.
It sounds silly and it is free. Best of all, I take these walks
It's
all
free.
day. After a Zoom, like right, I'll go outside after, walk up and down the sidewalk, come back in, and just give myself a little sunlight, a little refresh. So I absolutely love that. Did you think when you started your first support group back in the day that you would eventually be the CEO of a mental health company?
Nope, not at all. It's funny how sometimes life can kind of give you context clues on where you're headed, what you're passionate about, what you enjoy. I definitely could see that I enjoyed organizing, getting people together, doing something impactful. So all those things made sense, but you could never really imagine it sometimes. I wish I had like that true north very young, but it took some time to get there and it takes some people longer to get there. I feel like my kid kind of knows what he wants to do just as like a toddler. And, whatever the length in anyone's journey, it's your journey.
I absolutely love that message. I recently, as we're recording this, celebrated 10 years in entrepreneurship, but it took about 8 years to really figure it out, right? So your journey, you can't compare it to everyone else. They start from different places. We go through different things, and eventually we do figure it out. Like her, she had the courage to go all in, move out to the best place possible to build this app. Let's shed some more light on this and maybe how it started, and then we'll talk about the evolution to where it is today.
Yeah. So with Mental Happy, we actually started on a social media site. It grew to just a massive amount of followers. We were trying to organize, it was a group on a social media site, and then we were trying to organize like subgroups
Okay.
as these like support groups. And it just it grew to like, yeah, 90,000 something people. It was hard to like put people into the subgroups. We were getting spammed and bots all the time. People also didn't feel comfortable sharing because the groups had a lot of individuals. And then, with it being on social media, there's no telling if your comment will get picked up or shown in a stream or like in a thread, or if people will see like, "Oh, hey, such a blue is part of this very sensitive group topic online." And then now all your friends can see that you're part of a particular group that's personal to you, right? Like it's a vulnerable thing. So it was very difficult to manage. And I just set out to like, hey, what if there was like something way more private, something that's not on social media, and you're not bombarded with like ads or DMs or anything like that. It's truly just a space where people can do the work and find whatever group that relates to them, whether you are recovering from a horrible accident or and you're navigating short-term disability or long-term disability, or if you did go through a heartbreak, or if you're a new mom, or maybe you're looking for a men's group, like just whatever that life thing is that you're looking for, you can find it in a safe space with professionals that are able to help you. So we are available on mobile apps as well. So iOS and Android makes it easy, and people are able to stay as much as they want in an intimate support group online. They can chat. They can also attend like group video sessions or even in personal person sessions if that's what the host has available. And you just don't have to worry about being bullied online or hit with posts about come to this nightclub or whatever the craziness that we were also seeing in the group.
I absolutely love all the messages you just shared, but I also want to revisit. You said you have a young toddler. I know being a mom, especially in the beginning, I've had a lot of moms come on the show and talk about postpartum and the fourth trimester and all these things. Being a mom, a business owner, all of these things, how do you possibly make it all work? Please inspire our audience who may also be a young parent and trying to do such good in the world like you are.
I mean, everybody says like, yeah, when you have kids, it's a lot, but it's also like a good reason to say no to a lot of things because it's like, I can. I have something else, someone else to be responsible for, and then I have something else that I really enjoy. I think people think sometimes with parenting, it takes away a lot from your life, but I became a parent much later in life, so I've done a lot. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. And it's really nice taking breaks and being reminded to play because you'll get asked that 1,000 times a day. Like, can you play with me? Can you play with me? So that part I really do enjoy. But I mean, for anybody considering it, I mean, it just like anything, it just kind of works itself.
I love it. What are some things that you do as a parent to be mindful for your child to keep their mental health at a good place? What are some things you do as a parent? I know screen time is a very hot topic right now.
Yeah. So we don't do screen time like on the go. So, and no shade to any parent who does this, but things like screen time at a restaurant, just to kind of keep them quiet at a restaurant. We rather the loud just talking to us and, we're talking to him or maybe he's running around the table. I mean, obviously we can't take him in every like super fancy restaurant setting so he doesn't break something we can't afford. But for the most part, we're okay with just a busy toddler. So we'll take like activities, toys at a restaurant instead of screen. And we also don't do screen time like on long car rides. Again, we rather him engage in terms of like talking about what he sees outside and having conversations with us and dialogue and playing little car games. And we do screen time in like small, like 30-minute increments, like on the weekends,
Okay.
but not like, he can take it in his backpack and go. And we also didn't buy him the iPad. His grandparents bought it. So we were trying to hold off on that for a long time.
Mom.
Yeah, but he got one as a gift. So we're just, just it's a reward and it's all the things on screen time are just to learn letters, numbers and, stories and stuff like that.
Love the idea of using it as a reward. And I also like the idea of using the information. I mean, when we were kids, this information wasn't out and about, right? We were like, all right,
Yeah.
stick on TV. Now got these.
Looney Tunes and they're just
Oh,
hitting
yeah.
each other with mallets.
They're still going. All the stuff from when they're redoing it or whatever. But
Yeah.
when you big old glasses doesn't help them on the computer all day. But
Right.
I love how you're taking those initiatives. Even for me, with screen time, it can drain me emotionally, whatever, and take away from mental health. I have social media timers I have for years, and that's really when my business started taking off, where I don't need to scroll all day. That I know for some people that's they like to do, and I'm not hating on it. Just for me, there's so many thousands of things I need to do as a business owner.
Uh,
That my
that's
also I don't want to see the comment sections. I make sure that we engage, but your opinion isn't going to sway me from what I'm doing. And I think it's important to be mindful of what kind of energy and information we're putting around us. And you're doing such an amazing job because now your company, it's helping virtually all over. What are your goals for 2025 with this?
Yeah, so we're doing some small beta tests for Mental Happy in other countries. So we're starting with English speaking countries first. And so really expanding outside of the United States. So that's like one of our major goals this year. We've been asked like a lot of questions about people who are interested in the support group space. Maybe they are licensed, maybe they have some type of peer support specialist background, or maybe they're just a survivor and they've been advocating for this mental health work for a long time in a particular life event related area. But we're hosting some really interesting webinars this year on how to be a support group facilitator, how to price your support group, how to engage your members in a virtual support group space. So we're really excited about those two things coming up this year.
That's the type of stuff you need to share with me because then we can share it to this community right here. I think there's a lot of people out there who do want to be an advocate, right? Use their voice, but they don't really know where to start or how. So I think the opportunity you're presenting is a very, very attractive one for people who are ready to make a difference. Remember, your voice, your story is bigger than you. You may not think it. I had the itty bitty committee in my head for a long time, right? Who would read my book? Who would listen to my darn show? But
Yeah.
now, thanks to great guests like ours today, we're willing to keep this conversation going. As my friend Amber at TGA says, let's keep the conversation going because it's super, super important. I'd like to, as we wind down, I bring this to the forefront. If you could give advice to anyone who is struggling today, someone who just can't find the sunlight. All the options in front of them are in their mind worn out. They can't go forward. if you wouldn't mind, lend a piece of advice forward.
I think that's really tough when people are just in this dark space that they feel like they can't really get out of. Or I think worry is really crippling to a lot of people. I think people worry about like a lot of things that haven't happened yet, or worry about a lot of things in the past. I would say the biggest things have already worked out for you. And when you think about things like the sun came up today, right? And it's been coming up for billions of years now. And if the sun didn't come up, then whatever we're worried about, whatever our struggles are, whatever our pains or like it kind of doesn't matter. And how hard was it to like form the universe, form the sun, oxygen, something very basic. We don't think about it. It's just really there for us. And for me, when I struggled with like anxiety and panic attacks, it's kind of like, well, if oxygen didn't exist, whatever I'm worried about wouldn't even matter. So I think we sometimes get in our heads and forget like just the miracles of like nature and life and everything that's formed around us to be here worrying. It's like so much has really transpired in our favor already that you're likely also going to overcome whatever it is because billions of little micro events have already worked out.
I love that. And it's remembering how far you have come. And that's something I want to remind our guests today. I know I had debilitating anxiety in the past, close panic attacks much younger after my brain injury. So I know how hard it is to come back, rebound, and especially make a difference on the scale you are. One more time, I'm going to go ahead and put it on the screen here. If you're checking out the live stream before we're live, mentalhappy.com. But as far as you, where can we say hello to you, connect with you?
I'm on LinkedIn pretty actively, so you can find me as Tamar Blue on LinkedIn.
Love it. And I know you're virtual, you're able to help clients virtually, but as far as
Mhm.
in state, are you anywhere besides California?
Yeah, we're Mental Happy is available in all the states. So you
Oh, good for
run
you.
you can run a support group anywhere in the United States, or you can join a support group from anywhere in the United States.
Well, I am very, very impressed by the community and the opportunities you put together for the mental health community. I know sometimes it takes someone like you putting it out there for other people to follow suit. So I can't wait to see all this unravel. And please, in the meantime, click pause if you need to and head to mentalhappy.com. She is also on LinkedIn for you at her name. And I'm going to put that back on the screen so you can see it there. Tamar Blue, I want to thank you so much for joining a mental health break, sharing your story, all the great work you're doing. Everyone, you are not alone. My name is Vincent A. Lancey, and this is a mental health break. Please remember to subscribe to stay current with our mental health champions. And you can learn more about her on her LinkedIn page. And again, her website once more is mentalhappy.com. You can learn more about the show at a mentalhealthbreak.com. You can Google Vincent A. Lancey to learn more about me and to get in touch with the team from the show. Head to podcasts, plural by Lancey, podcasts by Lancey at gmail.com to have Danica answer any questions about today's guest or to get information on becoming a guest yourself. But with that, as we approach our time here, we're signing off from Bay to Bay. And thank you so much once again.
Hi, you guys. Thank you so much.